What's up, everyone? So, we got some more news going on here in the PlayStation world. Ever since the new CEO has got in his position, he's getting straight to business. It seems that Sony wants to get back some more Japanese roots into the PlayStation brand, which I think would be good, right? Because I don't like the Western Sony. Right here on his title, Clownfish TV says PlayStation fires California employees a week after announcing new Japanese CEO. Isn't this interesting, y'all? Man, there's just been a lot of shakeups going on in the PlayStation world the past month plus. I have to tell you, it's been pretty crazy. And the ponies are getting spanked by us as well too, and they can't handle it. But this guy is a longtime PlayStation lover, and what's funny is that he admits that he doesn't like the current Sony too. He admits to failures. I like that this guy's intellectually honest about things, and we're going to get into this. So going over here too, which is also very funny, if we see this, PlayStation is seemingly through another round of layoffs. This guy said it, Ryosuke. Most of my team was just laid off from PlayStation. It was a dream to get to work with Sony on a platform I'd grown up playing since PS1 and contribute to the PS5, Portal, PSVR2, PS App, and future consoles. If you know anyone who needs an engineer experienced native console UI, feel free to reach out. Seemingly going. PlayStation is facing layoffs again. Right? So, and he had posted it over here at Mastodon, which is another like wannabe Twitter, as we see that, right? All right, let's get into this. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, and you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm getting over the flu, so I don't sound like myself. I didn't die. Don't worry. We're gonna talk about PlayStation. We're gonna talk about Sony, and I think this is an indicator that Sony is going to try to become a Japanese video game company once again.
That would be good.
So last week, they put a new CEO in charge of PlayStation, and it was a Japanese guy. And it was a very sudden move. And now fast forward to this week, and they're laying a bunch of people off in California.
It's Nishino, if y'all didn't know about it. And I think that was a great move. Because remember when they moved their headquarters in California? Ever since they did that, it went straight down into hell. And they were leading them off a path very bad. Then Jim Ryan got leadership, and then Sean Layden got screwed over along with Yoshida, Shuhei Yoshida. And then they put them on like 12 or 13 Gas Rush titles. I mean, you just seen it, right? And then Concord was just like, okay, that's enough. Right? Even them doing that, they know things are bad, right? But you can't tell ponies that they just brainwashed blindly. Don't criticize Sony, please. Do this video. Good Dreamcast guy.
Now, what do I think is going on? Well, I think Sony is trying to save its ass, is what I think is going on. I think they had massive failure after failure with Western developed titles. I think Concord might have actually been the straw that broke the camel's back. It reportedly cost, $400 million or something. I think Colin Moriarty did a podcast about that. And it was $200 million to make the game the first time, $200 million more to fix the game because they hired a bunch of DEI hires who didn't know what the hell they're doing. So they had to bring professionals in to try to salvage it. And then they wound up shutting it down within 2 weeks. And I think they're looking at the landscape right now, and they're realizing AAA Western games are not where it's at. Now, here's the problem.
Going a movie.
You think, well, it's Sony. They're a Japanese video game company, right? Not really. In fact, the PlayStation brand is pretty badly damaged in Japan. They shut down their Japan studio, a couple of years ago, and I think this is all, California whispering in their ear. And I think Sony just realized, again, this is speculation on my part, I think Sony realized that they've been led down the wrong path, and it's a path of destruction, right?
With Jim Ryan nitro boosting them, gas rush off the cliff. Kind of get it? The gas titles, nitro boost, gas rush. Yeah, yeah. Fast and Furious. He made his own Fast and Furious. Not the one you want though. Sales tanked. Everything got canceled. Audience was disappointed.
And if they want to course correct, they're going to have to go back to being a Japanese video game company. They can publish Western titles, but their bread and butter, their core product needs to be Japanese developed video games. And that's what the market wants right now. Those are the games they're selling. That's what gamers want right now. So we're going to look into this. We're going to see what's going on. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop.
Yes, what gamers want to play video games, right? Real stuff.
Pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. So this is coming from 80 level. PlayStation California office fires an undisclosed number of employees. So the job cuts come in the
undisclosed number of employees. You see how they specifically said California? There was already layoffs last year when it happened. Now there's more layoffs. They want to get rid of all of it. And I think that is the best thing to do. You don't just say, oh, okay, I just removed 50, 65% of the poison. The poison is still building you and it'll build back up. No, you wipe it all out. Get rid of all of it. Get back your identity. Don't forget that you were once Japanese, but Japan already knew you betrayed them. And it's kind of hard to recover from that. They're not going to turn around so easily and just be happy and just say, yeah, let's just, support Sony. Oh, no, they're not going to forget that. And gamers over here are not going to forget that, too, because you were supposed to stay true to your hometown. But they didn't. They betrayed it. And they sold out to California and to Europe. And they created a bunch of movie games. It's like, what are you doing, man? And I just, like, when I see the things that they're doing, I'm like, there's no way that this will be the leadership of the organic Japanese spirit. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the leadership of a video game spirit in general either. It's like some political garbage where it's like, yeah, this ain't video gaming. What the hell are you doing over here? And then, like, you just got the ponies over there defending it, trying to live in a coped reality, just only looking at Xbox wanting to see that negative. And it's like, you guys are just not facing reality. Things are not going to get better if you don't speak up. You know what I mean? Because you're also the customer that decides to vote with your wallet. We got our YouTube platforms, Twitch platforms, and all that to use our influence the correct way too. And if you just say everything's okay, then you keep feeding that dog, it's just going to keep coming back around. That's how that works, right? So you got to do your job too, just like they're going to do their job and move stuff around and realize things need to change. And of course that happened. Why? Because Concord failed. Imagine if it was successful. You don't even know, because people chose not to support it. That's where you did your job. Now they're going to, you see how it goes back and forth between the community and the publisher and the developer. And then that goes back to the stocks and Wall Street. And that goes back to, all that other garbage too that we're not going to talk about that's not human. And yeah, we just get them out of our industry because they don't belong in here. Let's get back to gaming.
The wake of the programming tools provider SN Systems getting fully integrated into Sony. The industry-wide layoffs show no sign of stopping as Sony Interactive quietly fires an undisclosed number of PlayStation employees, including former senior design technologist Oscar Diaz. He's one of the affected workers. He said, most of my team was just laid off from PlayStation. It was a dream to get to work with Sony on the platform I'd grown up playing since the PS1 and contribute to the PS5 Portal, PSVR 2, PS App, and future consoles. If you know anyone who needs an engineer experienced native console UI, feel free to reach out. Good luck finding a job in this market. I think that a lot of these Japanese companies, a lot of these game developers are going to be very reluctant to hire a lot of Western developers at this point. It's a hunch I have. It's a feeling
I don't blame them.
I have. And I think after, Assassin's Creed comes and goes too, it's going to be even more obvious that, we really got to course correct here. And that's Ubisoft, but just industry wide, they have to course correct. So
Ubi slap.
It's first spotted on Reddit by user Ice Popsicle Dragon. Diaz's post across the social media pages revealed that he and the majority of his team were laid off from PlayStation with no reason provided for the job cuts. Well, I think it's a new CEO, and we talked about this last week. I said,
Came underneath there, pulled the rug, and turned around looking at him. He just looking down at him. He ain't saying nothing. That serious look, the Japanese spirit, and just walks off and continue doing what he needs to do.
it feels like they're going to try to de-Westernize PlayStation, which has become a California brand, and they basically just let their Japanese audience kind of twist. The last couple of years, they didn't care. It was all about Western games for a Western audience, and not just a Western audience, a very woke Western audience, and all that's over. It's over. People are done with it, and they know it. They know where things are going, and the next phase is let's just go back to making games. Go back to making games. Mm-hmm. Just fun games, right? Because a lot of Western games, I don't even feel like games are interactive movies. All right. So as always, the studio's refusal to explain when its action fuels. As always, a studio's refusal to explain its actions fuels speculation, with the community now theorizing why these particular layoffs have taken place. The most likely explanation appears to be the recently announced full integration of SN Systems, a provider of programming tools for PlayStation developers, into Sony Interactive Entertainment. Move made public just a day before Oscar's post about the layoffs. And given that both Oscar's department and SN Systems specialize in tools development, this theory does sound plausible. A year ago, Sony also let go of some of its employees, but at least back then they officially acknowledged it. No, I think this is a very easy cut, but I think they're going to cut a lot of people, and I think they're going to cut a lot of people from California. Because again, I think California has led them astray, and they know it. They know it.
It does it to everybody. You get involved in that Hollywood nonsense.
They said, yeah, the layoffs were hard last year, and the dismissed personnel were talented. However, it appears their talents were ultimately deemed unnecessary for Sony's mission to continue bringing the best gaming experiences to the community. Later in the year, the company also shut down Firewalk Studios, the developer of what was by far the worst AAA game of 2024, Concord. I think this is the catalyst right here. I think Concord is costing California, Sony, PlayStation employees dearly. I think the new boss is going to come in. It's going to be like, did you ever see Gung Ho with Michael Keaton? He's going to come in and they're just going to get rid of people that don't work. I believe this new guy probably has a mandate to course correct. This is why they had such a sudden leadership change.
He does. Nishino's also pretty big on multi-platform and expanding out. He's the type of guy that's strictly about business, what it takes to be successful. He's not the type of guy that's stuck in the traditional world. He's going to do a better job. But, obviously you got to do a lot of changes and get that back going. It's not something you just say, snap my fingers, and now it's all back working perfectly and we're going to get perfect results. You're going to have to do some things, and some people are not going to like it. Just like when political tides happen, some people say, no, in order to get things back to be working well, you're looking better, the whole nation, dude, it's going to be rough sometimes. There's going to be some things people are not going to be able to handle, but that's what it takes when people mess up stuff so much. You shouldn't get mad at the people that have to do that. No, they have to do that because those other people messed up before them. And if you're going to get back on the right course, sometimes it may seem rough and cruel, but that's what it takes to get back in. Sometimes when things get out of balance, you have to rebalance them. It may be ugly, but it's what's best in the long term. It's all about the long term, the end game, not about short-term stupidity. So you want to get back to the gaming paradise that you love on all scales, that's what it's going to take. Otherwise, it'll just stay mediocre like that. But it can't, because it's just going to die. You can't allow that to happen. Nobody wants that. So that's just a reality we're going to all have to accept, or certain people are going to have to accept. I mean, what I do, reality is great, but I mean for people who are probably only stuck in a PlayStation world, or just this example on anything in life. That's just how it is.
And yeah, so they said some ex-Firewalk members appear to be doing just fine with it recently coming to light that Pamela Pichetto, the director of marketing,
But okay, so this is pretty much going to cover that. Like we get the idea here, right? uh, the shakeups that are going around. First, we had the initial shakeups. Now there's a new leader. There's more shakeups that are going to be going around. Right now in the PlayStation world, this is a lot of turmoil and chaos, and it needs to be course directing. And we know this. And I like that he admits that, right? See, he's not being a pony. This is a guy who actually is a PlayStation gamer that actually cares about PlayStation and wants to see it turn around and realize that it's failing.
Operations behind the infamous hero shooter has landed a job as saved. Oh my god. Okay, so this is let's see. This is coming from Kotaku in action. Pronouns in bio don't hire this man. He, they should go flip burgers. I remember this in the closure of the Japan studio all happened at the beginning of Jim Ryan's era. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Growing up playing PS1, and he became a he, they. Are we playing the same games? That is true. Like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, God, it just seems like a completely different era. It seems like a completely different company.
Mm-hmm.
Because now when I think of PlayStation, I don't get the warm fuzzies like I had for so many PS1 games back in the day. I just think like, oh, what AAA woke nonsense is Sony going to push now? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then we have the whole.
So you see, he's been around since PS1 days in the PlayStation world. He might have been gaming before that, like me, starting off on NES, but he's honest about it, and I like that. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. This is what we want to see right here. All right, y'all. Peace out.